Please stand. Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, Bears, we made it to Friday and the end of week 17. Just 3 more weeks until the end of the school year. Today, we've got behind-the-scenes look at the upcoming drama performance and the latest installment of On the Bear Trail. I'm Aidan Robertson.
And I'm Cindy Avila. Today is Friday, May 5th, and Good Morning John Burroughs starts right now.
Welcome back. Starting tonight, JBHS Drama presents She Kills Monsters, a fun comedy that combines family relationships with the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Gmjb reporter Max Purdy was able to go behind the curtain and see what's in store for this show. Here's more.
I feel like what makes it special is it's like set in a D&D world and in the 90s. It's cool that we like painted the stage, like we made it a grid, and that really adds to some cool immersion. I think it looks really cool.
It's kind of just the wrap up of the end of the year.
It's so like fun and liberating to like just put on a costume and be somebody you're not for a couple hours. So if you have the opportunity to try it out, 100% do it. It's so worth it, and it's like, what do you have to lose? It's so fun.
I've felt like an outsider before in my life, but then I really found this core group of friends and this great emotional support system. And I feel like from the top of the show, Tilly is kind of established as an outsider.
I'm not really sure how I relate to Agnes, and maybe that's part of the journey.
You're clumsy.
Thanks, Willow. He's putting that in, and I know it.
Putting it.
If you don't necessarily want to be an actor, but you want to be in this community, you can be, because we're expanding costumes, we're expanding publicity, we're expanding all these fields like student director that we otherwise haven't really touched on.
That's a wrap.
Thanks, Max. Tickets for the show are currently on sale for $10 with an ASB card or $12 without. The performances run tonight and Saturday at 7 and Sunday at 2. In sports news, yesterday's CIF softball playoff game was postponed due to rain. It is rescheduled for this afternoon at Olive Park at 3:30. Also, good luck to the track and field athletes competing tomorrow in prelims.
As we mentioned in yesterday's show, today is the National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women in the United States. To learn more about this day and the issue that it's raising awareness for, here are members of our Indigenous Cultures Club.
Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Day is a national day of widespread anger and sadness and a plea for justice among Indigenous people. My great-grandmother was sexually assaulted when she was 14, and if we're talking about all Indigenous people, my grandfather was kidnapped as a child, and that's why I don't know my culture as well as I should. For many other people, especially when we're displaced from our tribal lands, we don't know what our culture is, and I want to make sure that all JBHS students who are Indigenous and people who aren't know that they can remember their culture now.
Indigenous people have been disproportionately not only sexually assaulted in general, or taken into the sex slave trade. We often talk about Indigenous people in this idea of things happen to them instead of happening to them, and missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, that is something that's actively happening today, and that's really important for people to realize.
In 2020, 5,293 incidents were recorded against violence against Indigenous women. Only 690 of them were recorded into federal databases. The US government is trying to hide violence against Indigenous people.
The stuff that I was reading and studying didn't talk enough about Indigenous people, so I wanted to join Indigenous Cultures Club to just support as much as I could.
You can learn about Native issues and what you can do to help, and you can know your real privilege as a non-Indigenous person.
Moving over to 2 dance auditions. If you are interested in dance production, auditions are coming up. They will be May 17th through 19th and will include 2 combinations, hip-hop and contemporary. Please join the Google Classroom with the code shown on the screen.
Dan's team is also holding auditions next week. The team performs at shows, rallies, as well as competitions. Auditions will take place after school from 4 to 6:30 on Monday through Friday next week. Anyone is welcome to audition, and you can join the Google Classroom with the code on screen.
While dance has a busy couple of weeks coming up, there were some trending stories this past week. Let's send it over to Laszlo with this installment of On the Bear Trail.
3, 2, 1. In Hollywood news, the 2023 Met Gala was held this past Monday at the Metropolitan Museum in New York City. This year's affair celebrated Karl Lagerfeld, who designed for many fashion houses such as Fendi, Chanel, and his very own line. Some notable celebrities that were present at this year's Met Gala include Cardi B, Jenna Ortega, Gigi Hadid, and many more. The Met Gala hosts were renowned singers and actresses. Some notable names included Dua Lipa, Penelope Cruz, and Vogue magazine editor Anna Wintour. With all the fashion and glamour of the gala's exhibition, the celebrities showed up and dazzled the crowd with their pageantry and designer clothes. In world news, the coronation of King Charles is being held this Saturday, May 6 at 11 a.m. London time. Early Wednesday morning, the coronation participants had a full dress rehearsal for this weekend's big event. King Charles will be crowned at the Westminster Abbey Cathedral. According to Vogue magazine, there will be approximately 2,200 guests and dignitaries from over 200 countries around the world attending the coronation. Along with the King's coronation, there will be other big events being held around London, such as concerts, parades, and a holiday to mark England's new monarchy. According to Vox, this coronation will cost £100 million or 125 million US dollars and is paid by the UK taxpayers. This cost is controversial due to the living crisis happening in England. To learn more about the coronation and the crisis, check out our Instagram stories. That's all for me. Now back to you.
Moving over to college and career news, Burbank is recruiting for their summer counselor in training program. It is free for high school students and gets you experience with the city's youth day camp programs. To learn more and apply, see the JBHS Bulletin or the Career Center Google Classroom.
Finally, there are 2 deadlines today. If you need to change your AE schedule due to an error, see Mrs. Hall at lunch in room 2328. Seniors, today is the final day to fill out the form for senior awards. That's our show for today. I'm Cindy Avila.
And I'm Aidan Robertson. Have a great day, Bears, and have a great weekend.